Centuries and generations of different ages have passed before the ancient stories completely fade into obscurity. Let us witness the historical events of Lalos Old Cemetery.
Revisiting forgotten cultural heritage. The history of Lalos Old Cemetery at St. Dominic Church.
More than 400 years ago, Lalo was one of the first four cities in the Philippines, previously known as Ciudad de Nueva Segovia. It was the hub of religious, trade and commercial activities of northern Luzon. An old church was built in this city, which is exactly where St. Dominic Church is currently located. And beside this church is an old cemetery.
Located in the back part of the Catholic Church near the road in Barangay Centro, this old cemetery was built in the late 16th century, followed by the burial niches in the 17th century. It was part of the House of Santo Domingo in Ciudad de Nueva Segovia during the Dominican Provincial Chapter on June 15, 1596.
The cemetery suffered damages due to calamities. It was first destroyed by an earthquake on November 30, 1619. Severe flooding, super typhoons, and strong earthquakes ruined the place multiple times in a span of 160 years. People received support from the government and the Dominican province during calamities until 1836. Father Leon Collado, a current priest at that crisis time, also helped with the renovation.
Knowing that this cemetery underwent major repairs for hundreds of years, it is surprising that the ruins of the burial niches remained during the restoration of the church in 2019 with the supervision of Father Franklin Manibo.
This time, there will be a few surprises along the way as Mrs. Epifania Dupaya, a retired teacher at Lalo, shares more information about the old cemetery.
Ano po ang nalalaman nyo sa Old Cemetery besides St. Dominic Parish, the Guzman Church?
Okay. Well, what I have known about the church inside the St. Dominic Church, during the year 1968 when I was assigned here as the teacher, I found out that when I come to church, I see the catacombs inside the wall of the church. Yung mga catacombs, different catacombs. Meaning to say, during those time, the Spanish time, they buried the dead inside the church. But sorry to say, we cannot prove it because the past priests who came to the church, they have already cemented, covered the catacombs. It should have been much better if they should not have covered so that we can see it that they really used the church to bury the dead during the Spanish time.
Hearing such information from a former teacher prompted us to research some beliefs during the past centuries. And we found out that Christians practice a tradition of burying the dead inside a church. The Dominican Church served as the final resting place of Bishop Diego de Soria, who was re-entered in 1627, as well as Bishop Diego Duarte in 1636.
Putting these pieces of information together, the old cemetery beside St. Dominic Church, as well as the Dominican Church, were both the burial places in Lalo for the past centuries. Cemeteries used to take up a lot of space, which is why the former priests decided to turn this old cemetery into a Catholic church, the St. Dominic Parish Church. serves as one step in our ever-evolving process of remembering and honoring Lalo Cemetery's rich history.